Hello everyone, Daniel Kerr here. So I'm about to get into some sound design. Fresh in the morning, but first, gonna have some cereal. I think that it's integral in the process of making my music. Cereal for people in my family, my brothers, my dad, my sons. Cereal is not a morning thing. Cereal is an all day and especially in the middle of the night thing. It's one of the ways that I keep my energy up. And I love cereal. I love all kinds of cereal. It doesn't matter if it's the good for you kind, it doesn't matter if it's the super sweet kind, the chocolatey stuff, the berry stuff, I love it all. Except grape nuts. I can't stand grape nuts. I've tried them many different ways, hot, cold, with honey. I just don't like them. Cow's milk, but not always. Sometimes almond milk or rice milk. I prefer almond milk, really, because it's thick and I can water it down. Lord, I thank you for this food in Jesus' name. Amen. "14 years, almost 15 now, I have not owned a television. But, now that I have a son, 1970s episodes of Sesame Street on the computer." Enoch, what's a cow say? Sure does.
Okay, so now we're going to get into some sound design. Now, you can spend the be-all and end-all of sound design, in my opinion, is the hardware Kyma, K-Y-M-A. There's the capybara. There's other things. There's all kinds of granular synthesis programs like Super Collider and well, there's Max MSP. Used to be Opcode Max back in the day. There's all kinds of different things that you can use to make some really, really strange and interesting sounds. But I think that the movie industry actually has the most cutting edge sounds, of course, obviously, in their sound design. So basically, instead of spending hours and hours and hours working on sounds, which I do sometimes, but right now what I'm going to do is I have the movie trailer channel that is up on YouTube. It's JK Blackout. Now, I haven't checked out any of these trailers, so if I run across some filthy stuff, I'm sorry. But what you want to do is basically look in the list for something techie. Like weird computer films and stuff, they have really good sound design. Also, action films have good sound design. And also, horror movies have tons of good sound design. Actually, these days, it's hard to find a trailer that doesn't have good sound design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check out this Prometheus trailer right here. And I'm cracking it open. My internet's acting strange today. Now, before I go any further, I'll pause this. Over here, I have a download area because I have gone into the add-ons in Firefox and I have installed the one-click YouTube downloader, which makes it very easy for me to hit the download button, and it gives me a list of all the things I want to that I can download. Obviously, what I want is I want an MP4. I don't want to download an FLV because then I won't be able to drag it into Live. Now, you obviously, if you don't have Live, you don't have to use Live. You can just you don't even have to do the download option. Actually, you can just plug the output of your computer right into the input on your ESX if that's the best way that you can do it. But I don't have to do it that way, so I'm not going to. I want to download at the highest quality possible. So this is 1080p. First, I'm going to watch a little bit of the film and make sure, or the trailer, and make sure that it's got some effects that I can use. Huge string swells. I'm not interested in that.
A king has his reign.
Not really interested in the vocals either.
And then he dies.
That is good.
It's inevitable.
Prometheus has landed.
skipping forward.
Whatever that probe is picking up, it's reading life form.
What do you mean a life form?
Oh, the head.
They're changing.
Changing into what?
It's moving? These things moving?
What is that?
There's a ship.
They were leaving
To go where?
Earth.
It was so wrong. Take us home! If you don't stop it,
Right here.
it won't give you home to go
Right
back
in.
to.
Why is that door open? Got it out! Got it out!
Big things have small beginnings.
It's not exactly the greatest example, actually, but it doesn't make any difference. I'm going to grab it anyway, just for the sake of time. So I go and download the MP4, and after it's downloaded, I'll be right back. Okay, the trailer is downloaded. I've got it here on the desktop. I've got live open right here. And basically all I have to do is drag it over to live. And it starts to load. Now, as you can see, live has a video player as well. I just shut that down. In fact, what I like to do is after the whole thing is completely loaded, I'm going to right-click on it down here and crop sample, and it's going to say that it's no longer going to be connected to a video, to the video. That's fine. I don't need it connected to the video at all. That just weighs down CPU. So from here, now it's completely, it's cropping again. I can just start playing, and I can start moving things around a little bit until I find spots that I think are good for use. All right, that first little hall kick there. From here to here, I can use Control E and cut that into pieces. And I can take that and drop it down to another audio file. Control T, that gives me a track, bring it down here. And then from here, I can add effects. We'll try some vocoder. I love the vocoder. Throw that on there. That sounds beautiful. Mix the dry wet signal a little bit. Sounds awesome. Now I just grab that one piece. Now, one thing I want to do is before I render any of these and keep them, I want to add to the master channel a compressor. And a limiter. And then I want to monitor this. Turn the limiter off. I want to basically raise the output of the compressor until it's just about clipping. Right here, you see that? And then put the limiter on. I might give it a little more headroom. All right. Select that. Export audio video. Want to make sure that it's converted to mono. You know it's going in an ESX, like I said. And we'll call this FX1. Done. Now I have it. FX1. All right, I'm gonna get a few of these. I'm gonna go through a bunch of movie trailers and make myself some effects, and then I'll come back and show you some more techniques. Okay, so I've got a bunch of effects from movie trailers, and I added my own effects to those and stretched them out a little bit and did some weird things. I've got like 10 of those, which I can stretch through a whole set for sure. They're just texture to add, kind of like the video game samples to add at the start of some, measures and things like that. Start of each bar, whatever. Here's what's going to happen next. I'm going to grab some vocals from a track that I want to remix while I'm playing. Basically, while I'm playing, I try to do a couple, at least 2 or 3 remixes per hour-long set. Just vocal snippets and things to throw in there because I think that people like that sort of thing. So I've decided to grab the chorus of the song "Obadiah" by Purity Ring. Now, Purity Ring is a relatively, very unknown band, and they have an album. Their debut album is supposed to drop sometime in July. They're going to be huge. Nobody knows who they are right now, so if you want to get the jump on some peeps, and Purity Ring is where it's at. They are an incredible band. So right now, I have dropped one of their songs, "Obadiah," which I am privileged enough to have all 4 of the songs that they've released so far. And I've dropped it into Ableton Live. So what I want to do first is, I need to find out what BPM I need to warp this song properly so that I can take the chorus. So what I want to do is, by looking at the track here, you're looking at the wave, you can see that the beat comes in right around here. An unwarped track, you just want to grab that start marker right around there. And let's listen to it for a second. Okay, so that first little snippet is right here. We want to make sure that that's high resolution. You want to make sure it's right at the beginning of that little piece. And then up in the corner here, you have the tap tempo. So when you start it, you want to tap out the beat with the rhythm to find out exactly what the tempo is. Now, the best way to do it is to pretend that your finger on the mouse, or if you can set this to via MIDI to one of your pads or keys on a controller, that's even better. But don't look at the screen. Just look away and listen to the music and tap it out like you're playing a drum. That always gives you it gives you better results. So starting from the top. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, that is, even though it's not a warped track, I'll tell you what, I'm going to grab this, Control X, flip it around, I'll put it here, and see if that gives me better results. Much. Looks like it's about 99. So we'll try from there. Right click here and warp from here straight. And at 99, you can tell by looking at it. Let's grab these loop points and put them. By looking at it, you can see, if we go to number 9, for instance, that's pretty right on. And you want to go, see, that looks pretty close there. Go to 19, that's right on too. Just want to go a few ahead. Try not to do it on the fractions of actual bars. Do it on the whole numbers, and just see how close it is to being warped. This guy here is pretty close, pretty much right on. So I'm going to go, I'll try here at 57. Grab that one. And then one at the very end to make sure that everything is locked tight. So this whole track is warped now. If I turn the metronome on. Okay, now I got to find the chorus. I know from listening that it's about right here. There it is. This is the beginning. What I want to do for this, because I'm going to set this to 1-1, and I'm going to set the loop there too. The sky is low. Gather up its harm and guards with grateful arms. The sky is low. Gather up its harm and guards with grateful arms. Oh, but dear, the sky is low. Gather up its harm and guards with grateful arms. Let's try. See how this sounds. I know what it's going to sound like. It's going to sound great because the song is fire. So. Oh, dear, the sky is low. Gather up its harm and guards with grateful arms. Oh, dear, the sky is low. Gather up its harm and guards with grateful arms. All right, that song is sweet. Let me see if I can find another area. All right, this will do. So what I want to do here is right click inside there, crop sample, and that's what I need right there. Let's see what this sounds like at BPM 70, which is where I'm working at. Not very good. I'm going to change beats to Complex Pro. That'll help. Okay, I'm going to change this to 140, which is double the speed. Now, I'm going to make this into two separate samples here. I'm going to drag this down. The first one, I'm going to crop, whoops, at number 5. And the second one, I'm going to go from number 5 to number 9. Now, there are reasons for this. Let me crop this sample, and crop this one too. I'm going to change the color of this so I can tell the difference. I'm going to grab both of these. I'm going to Control X, flip them over, and put them right there on the first one. Now, the interesting thing about this was that I noticed that it does clip a little bit, even though it is a professional track. Everything these days clips a little. So on the master, I'm going to put a limiter. Oh. All right, I'm going to grab the first one, file, export audio video, make sure it's mono. And it's going to be called PR1 for Purity Ring 1. Done. And number 2. This one's going to be PR2. Now, before I close this, there's one more thing that needs to be done. I don't know what key these tracks are in, so I'm going to open up an operator. And by playing the keyboard, I'm going to listen to what's going on here. Control L is a loop. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to audition. It's in F sharp minor. All right, so it's F sharp minor. That's a good thing to know. And actually, F sharp minor is a very, very good place to start for a live set as well. So that helps. Okay, I'm going to put this on the smart media card, and I'm going to load this into the set. I'll be right back.